Welcome back to another Iron Faith Wrestling Instructional. I have a super fun one for you guys today. We're going to be going over scrambling, specifically funk rolls and far toe scrambles. So get excited to learn some amazing techniques. And even if you don't like to scramble, you're going to want to watch this video to learn the defense to it. First, let's talk about the rules of scrambling. The first rule is there is technique behind scrambling. Scrambling is not random. You're not doing made-up stuff out there. There's specific moves and specific techniques you need to learn to be an amazing scrambler. Rule number 2, for scrambling, you want to scramble for 2 specific scenarios. The first scenario I'm scrambling is when they've beaten all of my defenses. If you learned in my sprawl video, the first line of defense is your hands, so you can use your hands to stop them from getting to your legs. The second line of defense is your head. You could put your head on your opponent and use your head to block them. Then when they get to your legs, you have a sprawl. And what I would say the fourth line of defense is scrambling. So don't go right to scrambles. Always use every single line of defense so that you have, layers to your defense. You don't want to let someone in your leg and then just dive over the top, because now you're putting them in your last resort, and if they can score off of that, you have nothing else. But if you use your hands first, they beat your hands, then they use your head, they beat your head, then they attack your legs, you sprawl, then they work through the sprawl, and then you do the scrambles. So make sure you're using scramble as a last resort. You're making sure you hit all your other defenses first. Number 3, which is very similar, I will also scramble when there's short time left, right? If you have to score points, there's 10 seconds left, that's when you may jump to a scramble a little earlier than you would if you had more time on the clock. Rule number 4, be offensive when you're scrambling. Do not try to hold on to the position. Try to score points at all times and always try to improve. If you try to create stalemates, the person will slowly get to better position and score. So always look to be offensive when you're scrambling. Although they're in on your legs, think, I'm trying to score. I'm trying to constantly improve my positioning. I'm not trying to just hold on for dear life. And then rule number 5. Now, this one is super important. There's a lot of different scrambles out there, a lot of different techniques you need to learn. But really pick a couple positions that you like to force and force those positions. I'd much rather you become an expert at a handful of scramble techniques than to be average at everything. As you master more moves, you can definitely expand your techniques, but start by mastering a handful of positions that you like to force when your opponent beats your sprawl. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to be focusing today on 2 techniques, the funk roll and the far toe scramble, also the defenses as well. So let's start off with the funk roll. I'm going to first go through 2 different drills to help people understand the funk roll. The first one, I'm not even going to roll the leg. I'm just going to be kicking my leg free. So my partner starts in a low single position. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both hands to the same side of my leg. So if my leg's on this side of his head, both hands are going to go to the mat on the opposite side. My right hand, the hand further away, will post on the mat. My left hand will grab his shoe. So I'll go just like this. Once I'm here, my free foot is going to kick him in the armpit, and I'm going to slip my leg free, and then I'm going to go in on a low single. So stand up to your feet, and I'm going to end up here. Now, my partner is going to put his left hand over here and grab my ankle with his right, and then he's going to kick in my armpit, slip his leg free, and then he's going to go back down on a low single, exactly where he was. Let's turn this way a little bit. Want to give you guys some different angles, and we'll just keep going here. I go here. I don't like falling to my hip if I don't have to. Stay on my shin, kick my foot free, go into the low single. My opponent goes to that side, kicks in my armpit, frees his foot, then goes into the low single position. And this is a great way to help people understand how to attack that near ankle. Go ahead one more time, kick it free, just like that. So you can kind of go back and forth with that, especially with the youth kids. Really, really great drill. The next drill is, I learned it from John Clark, and Mitch Clark also does it. Mitch Clark was a national champ for Ohio State, and John Clark was an All-American for Ohio State. And they showed me this drill a while back, really, really good. This is where you're actually going to roll the leg, okay? So we start on my feet. My partner has a single leg up like this, okay? Now, when I do this technique, I want to make sure my partner's kind of pressuring into me. So I'm here. I feel my partner kind of step into me. My right hand, so the hand that would be in between the legs, is going to grab the heel. And I'm going to roll over that right shoulder. The biggest problem when people do this is they grab the heel and they roll over this shoulder, which is in a position where you're going to get cradled and pinned. So he has my single leg up in the air. I'm kind of on all fours here, or all threes. Right hand grabs the heel. I'm going to roll over my right shoulder, and my partner's just going to post both of his hands on the mat. So I'm going to roll. He's going to post his hands like this. Once I'm here, I'm going to hug the leg with two hands and roll across my back as my partner just steps his leg over here. Go back on top. Yeah, just like this. Once I'm here, I'm going to go to both knees. I'm going to post. I'm going to keep this foot on the mat. Step, pivot to a single myself, and we'll be in the exact same position. All right, I'm here. My partner grabs this hand on this heel, rolls over this shoulder. I'm going to post on the mat. He's going to roll across his back, get to both knees. And he's going to pivot into a single leg himself. We're back in the same position. I grab the heel. I roll over my right shoulder. He posts his hands on the mat. I pass the leg over top of me and roll all the way to my stomach. Here, get to both knees. I'm going to step my inside leg up, pivot on my right leg, switch to a single, pick it up. We'll hop back into frame. Now, important thing with this drill is make sure you post your hands. If you go ahead and grab the ankle and roll over this shoulder. Other way. Go again. Roll over here. If I hold the leg, that's not what a good wrestler is going to do, because you'll end up on your stomach here. I want to let go of the leg and stay in this, bear crawl position as he goes to roll through. I want to stay here for the drill. I don't want to hold on to his legs and, keep rolling with him, okay? That's just going to make it unrealistic. A good wrestler, when somebody funk rolls them, let go of the leg and starts working their funk roll defense, okay? So I'll show you guys this one more time. My opponent has a single. My hands are on the mat. And if I'm going to actually hit this in a match, I wait until they push into me and I roll into the leg. So I'm not rolling forwards. I'm going backwards, rolling in to the leg. Kick your heel to the mat. His hands are on the mat. Pass it by. Get to both knees. Look which leg steps up. If I step my right leg up, I put myself in a bad position. So I'm going to step my left leg up. Whatever leg's closest to the leg I want, I step my opposite leg up. And I pivot on this leg. And I pick the single up here, okay? He'll go one more. He'll roll across his right shoulder. I plant my hands. He rolls through, gets to both knees, steps his inside leg up, pivots, just like that. So those are the two drills that really help my athletes to understand the funk roll position, okay? Now let's talk more about how this will actually play out in a match and what type of positions you're going to end up in. Now I'm going to go over some common positions where you might attack this funk roll. The first one is when my opponent has an out the back door on me. So he shoots in on his attack, and we end up in this position here. When I'm here, I'd always try to go back to a sprawl, but if I'm having trouble getting back to a sprawl, I can go for my funk roll, okay? In this case, most of the time, he has my right leg, so he's going to be swinging me down to this hip here. And I'm going to attack the near leg, okay? We're going to learn the far toe scramble later, which is actually even a better technique. But if he has this leg stepped up away from me, so step this leg up away from me, yep, I can't reach that. That's a perfect opportunity to go to this funk roll position. So when I go for the funk roll, I grab the shoe laces, my elbow goes into his hip or his thigh, and I'm trying to essentially extend this leg out. We'll learn later the defense to a funk roll is sitting back on your heels, okay? So when I reach in here, I'm using my forearm to pry his hip off of his heel. I don't want weight on this heel or weight on this leg. I'll continue to do this by kicking into his armpit to extend this leg even more. The lighter this leg is, the easier it is to score. Now, like I showed you earlier, if you can kick your leg free, kick it free and just come on top and get the score. If you can't kick your leg free, you're going to hug the leg. I like to grab it like a baseball bat, kind of like that. Hug it to your chest, and you're going to do a roll across your back all the way to your stomach. And a good wrestler is going to stay kind of in that bear crawl position. All right, they're not going to hold on to your legs. Once I roll to my stomach, I want to get to this position right here. Here's how we finish it, okay? I elevate the leg up into my armpit. Inside leg stands up. So I'll lean. I step here. I come over the top with my left hand, scoop it deep, and then I switch to a backside finish here. I hug here and tackle through the hips. That's the position I'm trying to force when I'm doing this single leg, okay? Now, I'm just gonna go through different scenarios, but I'm gonna keep repeating the techniques as I do it. Another opportunity where you can hit a funk roll is in the high crotch position, right? My partner shoots a high crotch on me, they start finishing, I attack the near ankle. Look at where my elbow is. I'm not over top grabbing, my elbow is going into his leg to push that leg straight. I wanna start pushing into his hip with my elbow, okay? As I come to my side, I'll try to free one leg, get one leg into his armpit to extend him, and then I'm gonna roll all the way to my stomach. When I'm here, I post my inside hand, get to my knees, body in a straight line. Step my inside leg up, right hand goes over the top, scoops, left hand releases, I hug the leg and tackle through the hips. Another position that this can happen in is if my partner hits a low single, okay? And it's very similar just to out the back door, but if I end up in a low single position here, where his head's underneath, I can go for funk rolls. I can go this one, I can go the other one. All right, I'll go for this one in this case. So I'm here, trying to go here, two hands like a baseball. The leg's already extended, so I don't have to worry too much about kicking free. I grab, I hug it. I'm going to pull him across my back, okay, all the way to my stomach here. Post, get to both knees. Again, don't step your left leg up and pivot in because you're going to end up in a position, 50-50 position here, which we don't want to be in. Keep that knee down. Opposite leg steps up. Hold it tight. Even here, I can finish backside. I can also pick the leg up and sweep and finish on top. Another position where I might look for this funk roll is if my partner has a single leg and I have a shin whizzer position, and he starts shelving it up on his hip, so he switches legs, we end up in this position. It's an opportunity where maybe I can't sprawl anymore, but I can do that funk roll, and this goes right into the drill we just did. The hand that has the shin is gonna reach and grab the heel. Sometimes I'll even do this, because if I go like this and he steps his leg back, now he's in a position where I don't even have the shin whizzer anymore. So what I'll do, go back down real quick. This foot will go behind his heel to prevent him from stepping that foot back. So my left foot goes here, then I'll release the shin whizzer and grab the heel. I roll across my right shoulder. I might kick him in the head or headgear or armpit, straighten that leg out, go all the way through to my stomach, step up, it's all the same, boom, pivot. Now I can run through the hips and finish my technique, okay? Same thing if we're on our feet. So whether, stand up all the way to your feet. Same exact technique on your feet. Whether the foot's on the outside or bring it to the inside or here, I can attack this. You can use that foot, like I said, to make sure he doesn't step it back. Then heel, roll across the right shoulder. Here, control it. Again, if he fully let go of my feet, I can always try to just bring my knees underneath me and finish through the hips like that. Now, some things to be aware of. When you're doing a funk roll or when you're scrambling, you have to be aware of cradles. I always cradle people when they try to funk roll me. So be aware of that, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So say if we're wrestling here, and he has a single. If I go to attack that far ankle to try and roll it, look what position I'm putting myself in. You know, if I go here, boom, I'm putting myself in a cradle. You know, even if I go like here and I roll the wrong way, if I roll into him, I'm putting myself in a cradle position. Say he has that high crotch like before, and I go here, if he sits back on his hip, elevates my leg up, again, I'm in that cradle position. So when you're scrambling, be very aware of that cradle positioning. And how we want to avoid it is, one, don't roll the wrong way, and two, really use your legs to keep his upper body off of you. So what I mean is, like, say you're in this position here, and he's got my leg, I've got to use my hand and my leg, push him away, keep him away. Because if he leans into me, he's going to pin me. Use your hand, keep his upper body away from you so that you can work to score. One thing that you guys really have to understand with scrambling is don't stop. Don't stop. The only time I'm bailing out is I'm about to give up back points. So a position, people are taught when you go to funk roll to put weight on your legs, or double knee drop if you're on your feet. So if you get caught in a weird position, you can get to what we call the hurdler position, which I learned from Mitch Clark, where, you know, I'll give you guys an example. So I'm here. Ben's taught that if I go to scramble, to drop to both knees, okay? So say I go to roll, he drops to both knees, I'm here, okay? This is how I want to deal with this situation. You got to be a little bit flexible, but I want to get to the hurdler position. So the scramble's not there, all right? I'm going to kind of rock my body up and do a sit-up position. I'm going to throw my leg back and get to here, so I can continue wrestling that position. So if you ever get caught underneath of the person, don't keep trying to scramble, don't keep trying to grab the ankle, you're going to get cradled. But if you come here and you jump to here and they're on their knees here, you're in this position, what he's going to try to do is go double leg. So make sure, you know, you just failed at the funk roll, get this leg way away, sit up and get to this position here. Now we can continue to defend the shot. That's a little tip where when you're scrambling on your feet, or when you try to funk roll and they're in that standing position and they double knee drop. Just a little piece of advice. Keep that scrambling going and always look to get back to that kind of hurdler position here where you can fight that takedown. Now, another way we can finish out the back door is finishing into the crab ride position. This is a jiu-jitsu technique, and I've been seeing it a little bit more in wrestling. So, say he has it on a high crotch on me. All right, I'm going to go to the funk roll. Okay? Now, if I extend and pass the leg through, and I'm in this position here, okay? What we learned earlier is roll to your stomach and finish out the back door. But I can actually finish right here. I'm going to take my left leg, in this case, the one he didn't have, and bring it through and put my shin on his knee. Then I'm going to kind of scooch my back out and bring my right leg out and put it on his shin here. So I'm going to get both shins on his knee. Then I'm going to sit up, grab his hips, kick his legs out, and get to this crab ride position. Okay, I'm almost like climbing up their back. You got to be comfortable on your back, and you might have to do this pretty quickly in college because you can't be on your back for that long. So, you know, whatever the situation might be, I come here, I start kicking, I start rolling his leg. Even right here, like I can pass it, all right, and then just start throwing my shins into his knee joint, the back of his knee joint. So I start kind of getting grips on his legs, pulling my shins to here. Shin on each knee. Then I'll sit up, go for the hip. Pull him back, pull him into crab ride. Show you guys that one more time because it's a little bit of a unique one. I'm doing the leg pass, but not rolling all the way through. I'm on my back, and I'm throwing my shins into the back of each knee, and then climbing myself up and pulling him into crab ride. So I'll give you guys this angle here. Circle this way. Say I go here, all right? I roll, we're here. I'm gonna start bending my knees through and bring them to here. And that's where I can kind of start climbing up and pulling myself into crab ride position. Another position, I wouldn't say it's a funk roll, but I've been playing with this position a little bit. I saw Yanni do it to Jordan Oliver, and I've been doing it a lot to my wrestlers. And I think the reason why this is such an effective move is because people don't know how to defend it. It's very weird. They've never learned a technique on what do you do if somebody does this, at least not yet. So stand up real quick. If my partner has a single on the outside, so other way, other side. Yep, there, okay. So we're here. I will sometimes do this. I'll go to a headstand. I know it's kind of crazy, but I'll get here. Now, as far as I know, Ben's never learned how to finish a shot when somebody does this, right, Ben?
Right.
So people haven't learned that, so when they see somebody do that, they don't really know how to deal with it. They kind of freeze up. And it puts you in a situation where you can essentially scramble to your own score. So when I'm here, what I like to do is similar to a funk roll, but I don't even roll. I just wrestle from this position. It's very weird, but I grab the shin or grab the back of the heel, and I start kicking my leg free and working into my own shot. If he holds it, he holds it. So if he holds it and I can't kick free, so say I'm here, sorry if the mic's getting a little weird, I'll literally kick back into him, and I'll work up into it, knee over the toe, weight on that foot. So if I can't get my leg free, I'll just kick. If he's holding on super tight, I'll trap his ankle. I'm literally doing like an ankle pick to him, and I'll kick him back to his butt. So you guys can start playing with that position. Again, similar to a funk roll, but all I'm going to do is just go to like a headstand position. I can mess with anything I want here. I know it's kind of weird, but again, people haven't really, if he drives into me, it only helps my position. It only helps me. So it's kind of weird, you don't really know how to deal with that situation. If you drive into them, then they'll use that momentum to funk roll. So, I'd probably recommend kind of just being careful as you finish, and if they go to funk roll, double knee drop like we saw earlier. I'll show you guys one more time. I'm here. I'm just going to go to a headstand. Keep my other leg free. Grab the heel. If I can get my foot free, I get my foot free. If not, I'll just kick my leg straight backwards to send him to his butt. Elevate this leg and put my knee on his chest right here. Now we're going to defend a funk roll. When my opponent grabs my ankle, the main thing you got to understand is put weight on it. He wants to extend my leg. He wants to push my upper body forwards and get weight off my ankle. I need to put as much weight as possible on it. So let's turn this way. Say I go high crotch and my opponent, drops to my near ankle here. And we're here. So I want to sit my butt back on my heel. If we're both on our knees, I won't let go of the leg. I sometimes will let go of the leg though. So if we're both on our knees, I'll just sit my butt back and I'll keep this high crotch and start elevating it. I want to get him to his hip. Once he's at his hip, again, we can go cradle like we talked about earlier. It's a very great technique to go to when somebody scrambles. Or we can just kind of bring our knee into him and sprawl back, okay? Now, let's pivot this way. I want you to fall to your hip. Let's say somebody really, they really commit to this funk roll. So I shoot in on a shot, they fall to their hip, and they end up here, okay? In this situation, I will let go of the leg, okay? The reason why, one, he's on his hip. So if I let go of his leg, I'm in the advantage position here. Two, if he kicks his leg backwards, extends it, it extends my body, and he ends up in a good position. So holding on to the leg, in some cases, will be bad for you. Now, if I can step my left leg up and resist, not a big deal. Then I can go for my cradle. But if I feel myself falling forwards as he goes to kick, let go of it and sit your butt back on your heel, as much weight as possible. I'll even step that opposite leg up because I don't want him getting that far toe. Far toe is much more difficult to deal with. Now, once I'm here, I keep kind of pivoting back. My knee starts going to his face. I cross face, and I'll sprawl back and get the score. Show a couple different angles of that. So let's turn this way now. I shoot my high crotch. My opponent goes to this near ankle here. Again, if I can go cradle, I'll go cradle. So I'll resist, lift it up, and start going cradle. But if I feel him extending back that way too much, I'll let go and sit as much weight back as possible. He may try to come back to his knees as this is happening. I'll keep his hip down if I can. Use my hands, keep him on his hip, okay? Now look at my knee. My knee starts pivoting to his face, so he has my ankle pretty low. So what I'm doing is shifting my leg to here, then I can pivot my knee into him. So look at that again. He has low, I can't pivot my knee into him right now. I'm sitting back and I start shifting his lock to my knee joint, then I can pivot my knee to his face and cross face, okay? Once he's all the way up at my thigh, I can sprawl here and it's not a big issue. If he has my ankle though, and I sprawl, it actually helps him and extends my leg into the position he wants where he can roll through. So be careful sprawling too early. I want to be back. I want this grip to be way up here when I go to sprawl and cross face and get my score. Now, from the feet position like we talked about earlier, so if I have a single on my opponent and I feel him going to scramble, I want to drop to my knee. So as he goes to go roll for it, even if he catches it, I'm putting my knee on the floor and putting as much weight down as possible. Because once he starts grabbing it, he's going to start kicking me up with his leg back this way to keep, extending my ankle. If you're a jiu-jitsu athlete, this is how you defend these leg locks too. I'm bending that leg, sitting on it, pushing everything down and putting weight over that leg. He wants to kick up, push it down, and look to score there. So anytime they are trying to go for your ankles from the standing position, drop to both knees and put weight on the leg they're trying to scramble and deal with those legs. Push those legs down or let go of them if need be. Now, if they do beat you in the scramble, I like to roll through with it. So if my opponent go funk roll on me here. So if they extend me, so go to their hip, they extend, I'm beat here. What I'm going to do is walk my hands in a circle towards his head, back this way, and my feet. I'm going to walk back, walk back, walk back. I like to do a figure four, so the foot he has, I lock behind my knee, and then I sprawl back, and I try to keep him on his hip here. Then I'll look to cross face and circle behind, okay? So when they go to scramble, I want to beat them. I want to jump and beat them from, finishing it. So if they beat me, I'm going to try to jump ahead of them, okay? Let's go back to it again. So my opponent goes for my ankle. I feel my leg getting extended. Quickly I circle back, put the foot he has behind my knee, knees wide, and start sliding back here. Now, one thing to be careful of is he's trying to get to both knees. So he wants to get to both knees and start elevating that leg up. That's what he wants to do. So I need to keep him on that hip if possible. When I rotate around, I want to keep him down. I might even use my right hand like a tight waist to keep pressure with my elbow into his hip. And I walk back and score the takedown. Okay? So that's what I'll do. If they beat me a little bit with the funk roll, I'll jump ahead of it. Let me show you one more angle of that so you guys can see. Let's go on this side. So I'm here. My opponent extended my leg. Look at my hands walk backwards. My high leg over. Keep weight on him here. I want him to stay on this hip. Figure four, sprawl. This hand will come to a tight waist. And I'll pressure on his hip. I'll keep sliding back as this hand cross faces. And I look to score. Now let's move on to the far toe scramble. This is a much better scramble because it's a lot harder to defend it, okay? My opponent shoots, I'll say a high crotch. This works really good if you get them to both knees. So if I sprawl, get them to both knees, now I can get this far toe. Near toe is the leg that I'm closer to. Far toe is the one further away. So I end up in this position. Maybe they almost took me down. Hand is going to wrap around the shoelaces. Some people like going ankle. I like going shoelaces. I feel like it's very hard for them to kick it out. Because later we're going to go over the defense. And what I've noticed is it's harder to defend this when I'm on these laces. It's easier to defend it when I'm up on the ankle. So I grab the laces with my right hand. So the hand that would be like on a tight waist goes down right to the laces. I like putting my elbow in the side of his leg and just pulling this across. So he's figure fouring himself. I'm forcing this figure four position. Now what you're going to notice is when I pull this leg away, he doesn't have any post here. if his foot's there, it's able to post. I take it away. He has no post here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait here. I'm going to wait until he gets pressure off my hips. He has my legs right now, and he has pressure on my hips, so I can't get off the mat. Okay, I can't get to my knees. But right when he releases that pressure and goes for like a crossface, which is pretty common, I'm going to post, get to both knees, and bump into him. And make sure when you do this that you step your left leg away. You don't want them going far toe. I don't mind if they go near toe, because then I'll just start sitting back and finishing there. But if he goes far toe, if he can catch this far one, it's a lot harder to deal with this. So keep that left one away. Once I'm here, other hand replaces. I sit back, look for my crossface, and get the takedown. Show you guys that again, a couple different angles. So, I guess probably here. All right, I'm here. I try to sprawl to get him to both knees. Now this hand comes to the far toe, right over the laces, and I fall to here. Now I'm gonna wait here. I wanna be patient. If he keeps on my hips, I can't do this technique. So I'm waiting here, I'm baiting him to go crossface, so he starts letting go of the leg. He starts going crossface. I tuck this in, even here. Now that I've tucked this leg in, he doesn't have a post here. So if I post my free hand, my left hand, get to my knees, I can just bump straight into him. And as I bump into him, I step my left leg away, switch hands, look to crossface, and get the takedown. Show you guys one more time with this one. Let's do it like this way, right to the camera. All right, I'm here. I'll sprawl to get him to both knees, far toe. Okay, I'll fall to my hip here. I don't feel in danger. Now I'm gonna wait for him to go crossface, okay? So he's gonna start taking his legs out. I pull the ankle across, post my free hand, get to both knees, then I step my left leg up and away and bump into him. Post my right hand so I don't get flipped. I'll pivot, 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 look to crossface, and get my takedown. Now, another situation that can happen is if I have this position here and I've fallen to my hip here, depends on if my legs are free, but I can actually scooch through. So I'm here. If I can get my left leg free, so the leg that is on the bottom of me, if I can get that free through this way, now I'm in a position where I can sit through and throw a leg in and get my 2 points there. But the problem is if we both have far toes, so let's go back real quick. Let's turn this way. If he has my far toe too, and I'm on my hip, okay, I can't get this leg free. I can't bring this free, all right? So I normally can't do that technique. But go ahead and go like high crotch. He starts bringing to my hip. I get the far toe, and I'm here. If I have this leg free, okay, I can start pulling this leg through like that and then scooching around. And because I have this far toe, it's very difficult for him to stop the technique from happening. Okay? Show you guys a couple different angles of that one because it's a little unique. Okay? So he goes high crotch. He starts taking me to the mat. I catch here. We end up here. Okay? As I'm scrambling, if I can free my bottom leg, I can even get to my knees too. So if I get to my knees and free it, sit it right through. So I get it up here, I sit right through, I switch hands now, and I'll start just scooching behind and getting on top there. It's a great opportunity to still score. Now, another thing I can do, I saw this from Mark Hall, does it a little differently, so come back real quick. So turn this way. Now if I go to here, what I'm gonna do is pull the leg across, okay? And then my opposite hand's gonna hug it like a football. So I'm pulling the far toe across, I'm reaching in and hugging this leg like this. And the reason why I'll hug it tight is so he can't kick it free. Now, once I'm here, I'm taking one of my legs and kicking him in the armpit. So whatever leg I have free, freeing my legs, circling, getting on top. Show you guys that again. So let's actually go this way. So I'm here, I'm gonna pull, and my opposite hand is gonna reach over and hug the ankle tight, okay? Now the last thing I gotta do is just extend them and get my legs free. So I can use my hand too to kind of extend them a little bit, get my legs free. Now I'm kicking in his armpit, in his hands, getting my legs free, then rotating my feet around and coming on top to get the score. So there are a couple different options you have from that far toe position. Now, how do we defend a far toe scramble? Well, first off, you want to prevent it from happening in the first place. So when I'm here and I shoot, say, a high crotch on my opponent, I need to keep my free leg away. So as he goes to reach for my ankle, say he goes to reach for this, I'm getting it away. Get this foot away. You shouldn't be chilling out on two knees. You need your opposite leg up and away and working on pivoting and hiding your ankles. Now, let's say they get it. So I knock him to his hip in a double leg or something, and he gets my far toe here. What I want to do first is I want to bring my knee up and put it over my foot. So we're in a straight line here. Here it's hard to rip it free. So I want to bring my knee up and sit it back into him. So my knee's even going to not only come straight up, it's going to come out and into him like this, and I'm going to wiggle my feet and kick it free. So he's got my foot, I'm staying on the legs, I sit my butt kind of back into him, open the knee up, kind of use my feet, kick it free, then I'll come back to the takedown. One more time. He's got my far toe. Don't let go and go cross face. Keep weight on his hips. Sit your butt back into him. I don't want to be here trying to rip it free. Sit your butt into him. Put in weight on this foot. Open your knee up, up, up until it's kind of pointing towards his head. And wiggle your feet. You can even use your hand. Get it free. Come back to the legs. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is you can even use your own foot. So if I'm here and I'm having trouble, you can even use your own foot to stomp and get your leg free. You know, or even if he has this, I can use my own foot to kick it free. I don't mind him having the near leg. It's very easy to defend this in my opinion. You know, I can just sit my hips up here and start cross-facing. But far toe, this is harder to deal with. If they have it, like they have two hands on it, like it's so hard. Okay? So, pivot and kick free there. Okay? And use your feet if you need to. You can use your feet, opposite foot, to kick. Okay? I don't mind if he gets this ankle as much, at least. Okay? Another thing you got to be aware of as you're doing this is if you turn too much towards him, you're opening up for him to throw a leg in on you. So make sure you're aware of this part of his body. As you're dealing with this, you know, you're keeping pressure here. As you're dealing with this ankle, if this leg starts coming up, you know, deal with it. Push it away. Get your leg free. Come on top there. That's all I got for my series on funk roll and far toe scrambling. So comment below what you guys want to see next. There's other videos out for scrambling. Look at low single defense as well. But these are the two that I really wanted to get through in this video. And, you know, subscribe. Again, comment below what you guys want to see next.